terms of the position of the system and its line of trajectory. It is still trending, or it is still 100 plus miles it had prior. And what we are currently expecting, or we are experiencing, we are expecting that to continue for some time throughout the course of the day. And as the distance dictates, based on the speed that this system is we are expecting to make landfall or pass through in terms of maybe possible, etc. I just want to indicate to your viewers, listeners, followers, etc., that this is a different kind of tropical cyclone or system that we are facing. It has given everyone a run for the money. It is so uncertain. It has gone down. It has gone up. It has increased speed. It is still moving. It is creating wind, and it is one of the challenges that we had so far.
Sorry, Mr. McIntyre, we seem to be having some connection issues. We'll blame Gonzalo for the lagging a little bit in the video, but we'll try our very best to continue the conversation.
Anything that I said.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Was the audio very good? Did your viewers and listeners?
We didn't catch all of it.
We lost.
We didn't catch all of it. Can you hear me still?
Okay. So which aspect do you want me to? Yes.
If you can go over most of maybe of what you just highlighted, just in case, to make sure that nobody missed anything.
I can.
Yes, please, thanks. I'd appreciate it.
Yes, so I indicated.
We're still experiencing the connection issue. Maybe you may need to change your location. Mr. Mack, you can hear me?
Oh, my location. Are you saying that the signal is fluctuating?
The signal is fluctuating, correct.
So are we better now?
A little bit better. It's still telling me that your bandwidth is a little bit low. So I'm not sure if it's because of your distance from the
router?
From the router, yes. I'm not sure if that's the issue or...
Sometimes with weather, we can have a bit of that kind of challenge.
Understood.
And that may have something to do with it. I am hoping that we can find a way of making it a lot clearer. Would you want me to shift or move somewhere?
It looks like it has returned because your video has gone back to full screen. So it looks like it has returned.
Okay.
All right. So let's start over. Hopefully we can have smooth sailing from now. Go ahead.
Okay, great. So I was indicating that this system is one that is different. It seems as though we're having unprecedented events these days, ones that you really cannot predict. And Tropical Storm Gonzalo is one of those that is giving us that level of uncertainty and challenge. So its position has never been identical. It has never been fully organized, but yet it is producing that level of thunderstorm, rain, wind, etc. with it. What is also a concern is that the amount of water it is expected to bring within the time it's going to pass through, as the meteorologist indicated, between 2 and 8 inches, that is quite a bit of rain. And to give an indication that people have an idea as to the amount of rain, in August of 2018, we had some flooding in the Grand Nance Monrouge area. And so that level of water, I think the amount was up to about 6 inches of rainfall that day. So it's an indication that if Gonzalo produced that amount of rain, that level of flooding we can see in some areas. So what we have done so far, the agency has activated its overall emergency system. So we are currently at full strength at the Emergency Operating Center to coordinate throughout the day into this evening, tonight, tomorrow, Sunday. Our districts or the coordinators have been advised of the situation. I know you are going to ask about shelters. I know people are concerned about shelters. I know people would want to go into shelter, but this is a condition that we have to play by ear and we must be guided by the experts, the meteorologists, and they too are not having the easiest of tasks in predicting or following the exact track of the system. And this is why it is very useful to pay attention to the information that we're giving so that people could be guided accordingly. So we did not go on to open shelters across Grenada. What we've done was identify some areas, one at least a shelter in each parish, including Carriacou and Petit Matnick, in the event that it becomes necessary for persons to use those shelters that they are available. And I could explain further the reason behind this. The main hazard associated with Gonzalo is that of landslide and flooding. And landslide and flooding is a risk that is to occur or a situation that is likely to occur during or immediately after the event. And so having assessed that level of stress, it has been decided that based on the uncertainty of the system, we're not going to open shelters across island to create mass panic, but we'll have these shelters available in the event that persons would need to use them. So we are going to announce, we have, I think, 6 on mainland Grenada, and we have 2 in Carriacou and 1 in Petit Matnick that are activated, and they would be ready in the event that people would need to go to them. I can give you the names of them that you can repeat after I'm finished with the program. We are going to be doing a release later on so that the information become consistent and it could be repeated later on. So we have one shelter is the Montut SDA Church in St. George, the St. Joseph Convent in St. George, in St. Patrick, the Roseville Modern Secondary School, and the St. Patrick Anglican School, St. Andrew, the St. Andrew Secondary School, and in St. David, the Westerhall Secondary School. Also, the shelters in Carriacou and Petit Matnick, the Leicester Rosary School, that's a primary school, the Dover Government School, and we are going to be using the Petit Matnick RC Church. This list is expected to be updated. I want to reassure the general public that the inspection process was undertaken, and there are 80 plus primary shelters that are available. They are identified. We are going to outfit them if we need to, but there are a couple of balances that we need to do. One of them would be the limit in terms of persons assembling because of the COVID situation. One condition is you would not want people to be assembling for too long in a particular area and the numbers to be too great at a particular time when it cannot be managed. So it is a juggle that we have to do, and hoping that we are making the best call in the interest of everyone. So we have to balance between COVID-19, the safety protocol, and the risk of persons to the storm. Fortunately for us, this system did not live up to a particular expectation to our advantage, meaning that it was projected to become a hurricane, a category 1. It did not become a hurricane. It further broke down into a weaker tropical storm. And that too is to our advantage. I want to also mind that despite the system has broken down into a tropical storms are dangerous. Depressions are dangerous. Tropical waves are also dangerous because they can bring particular amount of rainfall in areas and create landslides. With landslide would come what? Movements of trees, movement of property, movement of power lines, movement of water lines, etc. And that you could have disruption of services. And that in itself could cause more damage in terms of cost value than maybe a storm passing around and blowing off a few roads. Because this is a weaker storm, because in our assurance that the housing stock after Hurricane Ivan will rebuilt better, we are hoping that we'll have less impact. We know that there are some structures that are weak, that even a tropical storm will remove some of the covering, etc. We're hoping in this instance that that is not the case. But if you have winds towards 40 miles per hour, it is capable of moving a few small structures, and people should be mindful of that.
Two things. One, why has no emergency center been identified in St. John and St. Mark? And you mentioned that the centers will be activated when necessary, for lack of a better phrase. What would determine when the doors are actually open and people can go to the shelter if need be?
Right. Fortunately for us, hurricanes or tropical cyclones, they give you a lot of warning time. And if you're following them closely, you can actually predict in some way what they are going to do, where they're likely to pass. And it gives you an opportunity to readjust quickly. I'm hoping that people may have been listening to the information that we were giving earlier on and would have taken the necessary disaster preparedness tips seriously and would have looked around their homes and assessed what level of vulnerabilities and how structurally strong your buildings are. And so what will drive our action in opening those shelters is if we predict or we notice that there is an increase in the wind speed and there is a particular amount of rainfall that is predicted within a given time frame that will give people enough time to move to it, that will inform our decision. So I know it is a difficult thing. It is not the easiest question to answer as to how you can warn people quickly, but we are weighing this based on what we can follow with the system. So even if advisories are given every 2-5 hours, etc., there's continuous monitoring and tracking of the system. So if something shows up differently, we would hopefully be able to pick it up and warn people off. But in the meantime, we are saying to everyone, be cautious. Listen if there's any advisory that is coming through, and be vigilant. If you live close to a river, if you are in a low-lying area that is usually flood-prone, if you are in an area where you know that once a little rainfall, rocks or stones will come down, the mud will move, trees are going to fall, you need to be mindful of that. And if you have some level of concern in terms of your level of safety, we urge you to make a phone call. You can call the National Disaster Office at 440-8390-91929394. People can call these numbers because we do have the phones that are being monitored. So if you think that you face some level of threat, you're not safe, and you think you would need to, we'll assess the situation and provide some support where it's necessary. Short of getting us at the office, you can also call the nearest police station and tell them you feel unsafe or otherwise, and it would require some level. As a matter of fact, just a couple of minutes ago, I had a call from a senior police officer indicating someone who is vulnerable and may require some level of assistance. And we did give the assurance that if that becomes the case, that person will be prioritized for movement to an open shelter. So we do have a system that we hope would resist the eventualities of what we face, and hopefully we will be able to stand and work in the best interest of all, and that we would have a safe event coming through. I call it an event.
Did you mention why there's no hurricane shelter, emergency shelter for St. Mark and St. John? Why?
I did not. One of the other things I would like to speak to, St. Mark and St. John, there might be an omission inadvertently for St. John. St. Mark in particular, they are secondary shelters. There are a number of secondary shelters. I think I need to expand on this a bit more. The primary shelters are the ones where during a hurricane, one can go to them for safety. The secondary shelters are the ones that we are not sure would withstand a hurricane or a storm. Once they resist and they are standing, they can be used for an extended period of time to accommodate people after. So these are the secondary shelters. So we have a next list of shelters that we can release, but people usually confuse the secondary with the primary. So at this stage, we are holding those close to our chest. we are not giving as well the full list of the shelters that we have, because if we do give them, people would just want to go to them and they would not find anyone there. So just the ones that we expect to be used right now, we are going to advertise. But in my deliberate judgment, I have given the list to the district coordinators. So if we have a short call, they are aware where these buildings are, so they can also make them ready in the event that we have to use more than one of them. So the reason why St. Mark and St. John, I think St. John may be an inadvertent omission. I'm going to look into that. But St. Mark, there is no primary facility identified for St. Mark. And then there's an overriding factor where shelters are concerned. There would not be a shelter in every community and in every neighborhood where people think they are vulnerable. It's a work in progress where the state is moving towards having shelters as close to people as possible, but that is not the case. So in places like St. Mark, where there is no primary shelter, the move would be to have people transported to that area of safety. And in communities where people do not have a shelter very close to them, they would need to find out which is the closest shelter to them. So it is important to know your communities and to know the list of shelters. It's important for people to know the district coordinators. Like, we will have that available so that they could be announced as well, and the contacts will be given, so that in the event people have some challenge, they can contact these persons as well. But the whole issue of shelter is not the easiest of things to maneuver or for the logistics involved. But where shelters are not accessible, very close, transportation is the required option to get to them.
There may have a bit of a slight mistake. Mr. McIntyre mentioned one of the shelters as the Rose Hill Modern Secondary School, but I think that should be St. Rose Modern Secondary School. I don't think there's a Rose Hill, there's a St. Rose. I think it's St. Rose Modern.
Yeah, this is St. Rose Modern?
Yeah, no, it said Rose Hill Modern Secondary School, but it should be St. Rose.
Oh, let me double check. The St. Rose, oh yeah, I see St. Rose Modern, that shouldn't be.
Right.
That should be Rose Hill. No, there is no Rose Hill.
There isn't a Rose Hill Secondary School, there's a St.
Rose Hill. So it's St. Rose, let me St. John.
Wait, sorry, say that again?
There's no school in Rose Hill. It should be the Mount Rose Modern Secondary, or the St. Rose.
Is St. Rose Modern Secondary?
St. Rose Modern Secondary is...
So that's where the
St. Rose Modern Secondary is St. John.
Right, so I think that's where, correct. When you said it was inadvertently left out, I think it's just a slight mistake. So there is a shelter for this parish of St. John, is the St. Rose Modern Secondary, and the one for the big parish, not the big parish, for St. Patrick, it's St. Patrick Anglican School.
Yes, the Anglican school.
All right.
And St. Andrew is the Anglican secondary school.
You're right. Okay. So at least
St. David Western Hall. And St. George South would be the Maranatha Seventh-day Adventist. And we have for the town of St. George, the St. Joseph Convent.
Convent St. George's.
And very next to that, there's another one next to that on the same street that we have on standby that could be activated as well.
Okay, so hopefully that clears up the bit of confusion for the folks on the social media that was inquiring. Updates on the condition of the storm. Grenada is still on the tropical storm warning. Yeah, so just remind us of the information that we need to be made aware of or that we need to keep in mind today.
Okay, great. So activities are continuing as near normal as possible. So the minister did say yesterday that it is a normal working condition, and the order was not given to shut down. So some people have taken their own precaution to not provide their services and so on. That could be understood. The Morris Bishop International Airport did indicate to us this morning very early that they are open for service and they're operating, and they are conditional, they are monitoring the situation as well. So a general word of caution is that a tropical storm is imminent. It is coming our way. There are some forerunners that are there in terms of cloud cover and precipitation, meaning that we're getting some rain. That is before the brunt of the system actually gets to us. Some people have been saying that we've had the storm because they had a little bit of rain and a bit of wind. I would like to let you know that the storm has not yet passed. It is still 100+ miles away. And if it is moving at 18 miles per hour, you do the little math yourself and realize that that would be in the afternoon, given 10+ hours away from the time the last advisory was given. So it means that in the afternoon that the center of the system, the main aspect of it is likely to come through. But during the course of the day, we are likely to have the outer areas giving us some effects, some lightning, some thunder, some rain. The hazard or the threat that exists with this system is that the amount of rain it is expected to release would result in sometimes flash flood, or will have flooding in areas that are normally flooded and other areas that are not normally flooded, because the rainfall would be so much that that can happen. And as indicated, it would be between 2 to 8 inches of rain expected. I did give a parameter, the experience of August 1st, 2018 in the south of the island, where we saw the levels of the water, where people were kayaking and all of that. That's the kind of water level they are saying that we are likely to expect. As people go through, because it is not a shutdown day, we would want people to be cautious, because the condition, as I indicated before, it is uncertain as to how this can develop. People have been making mention of the temperature, that our seas have been feeling warmer than ever. As a matter of fact, it has been recorded that there's an above average temperature rise globally, and in the Caribbean in particular, we've seen warmer seas and warmer temperatures. And that condition become conducive to the development of those systems. So it is possible for that system to generate more energy. So we watch it cautiously. But what we are certain about, that it will bring some level of rain that could bring flood, landslides. If you have flood and landslides, you can expect disruption in power. You can expect disruption in water supply. So this is a good time to ensure that you have water storage containers, and you have your backup power, etc. And listen, walk with a little radio, walk with your phone, otherwise listen for the information, because we are playing it based on how the condition unfolds. If things are becoming for worse, where people would need to move away into safer area, we would want to be able to do a quick release information that people should go. But a general word of caution, if you do not have anything to do in particular places, you don't have anything urgently to access, it makes good sense to remain at home. And we are still under a state of emergency, and the authority at bay at any time could spring more effect to the emergency situation, where a restriction could be called, where say people, you need to stay at home because it is not safe. And that's one of the advantage, or in some cases, the disadvantage of the state of emergency, where our privilege could be taken from us at any time. So we do not want to have to go to that. So a general word of caution, if you don't need to go out for anything to help you in the emergency situation, please just stay at home, look at your little kit, make sure you have things packed up, you have containers and plastic bags and the things that are prepared. In the event that you have to move, you are prepared to move. If you have to go to a shelter, you are prepared to go to a shelter. And that's it. And we were mentioning some basic things. Have your face covering and have soap that you can wash your hands. If there's water somewhere, you already have your own soap. So people tend to be relying on the generic type, commercially generated hand sanitizer. Water and soap is the best hand sanitizer. So ensure that you have access to water, and ensure that you have some soap, either liquid or regular soap bar. Hold on to it. So if you get to some place, hand sanitizer may run out, the regular ones, but water is most times available. Use water and soap to sanitize or to wash your hands, and to be able to protect yourself a little bit better against COVID. So it's a double jeopardy, COVID-19, Gonzalo.
And thank you very much, Mr. McIntyre. We will continue to keep in touch throughout the morning as Gonzalo. Just a quick question, though. The eye of the storm is expected to pass over Trinidad, if the information...
Not really, because the system is projected to pass between Grenada and St. Vincent, between Grenada and Tobago at this time, the brunt of it. But it is veering. The system trek south and would move west. They come from south to west, east to west, sorry, and they move from north from south to north. All right. So they come across and they go up. So as it is coming across, so it's moving from east to west, which is 10 point something degrees. Grenada is 12 plus. It is 50 something plus now, and Grenada is 60. So it means therefore it has not gotten on us at the moment. So it is coming across our way, and if it moves a little bit north, it's going to come more to the center coming across Grenada. All right,
okay,
but
got it.
Because it is not a fully defined or well-defined, there's no well-defined area of circulation. So there is no defined eye and center per se. So that's what has been given some challenge in even determining its exact location. Sometimes it's 9 point something, 10 point something. So it bob a little to the bottom, it comes across to the top, and so forth. But what we are sure is that it has been increasing its speed over the period of time. But whether or not the eye or the center is coming across Grenada, whatever is coming our way is good cause for concern. We need to be just prepared to wait out in the safest of places and with the things that we need to have to be safe until the all clear is given.
Thank you very much, Mr. McIntyre. We'll speak again before, in a short while. Yes?
My pleasure all the time.
Thank you very much.
Very well.
That was the National Disaster Coordinator, the National Disaster Management Agency, Sylvan McIntyre, giving us an update on Tropical Storm Gonzalo, which is currently affecting the Windward Islands and the Southern Caribbean. Just a reminder of what he shared this morning. Eight shelters have been identified. They have not been officially activated as yet. What he said is that though they would open depending on the wind speed of Tropical Storm Gonzalo to avoid people congregating at the shelters without needing to be at the shelters. So just in the event that there's a need to activate the shelters, of course, NaDMA would let us know, and keep in mind where those shelters are. In St. George, the emergency shelters are the Montu SDA Church and St. Joseph's Convent St. George's. In St. John, it is the St. Rose Modern Secondary School. Earlier, he made an error and said the Rose Hill Modern Secondary School in St. Patrick. But as we got further into the interview, he corrected himself and he said the shelter in St. John is the St. Rose Modern Secondary School. In St. Patrick, it is the St. Patrick Anglican School, Primary School. In the big parish, it's the St. Andrew Anglican Secondary School, SAS. In St. David, it is the Wester Hall Secondary School. On the Sister Isles in Carriacou, it is the Leicester Rosary and Dover Primary School. And in Petit Martinique is the Petit Martinique RC Church. For those of you who may need further information, you can always contact NaDMA on 440-8390, 919293 or 94. 440-8390 to 8394, and you can speak to an official at the National Disaster Management Agency. According to the 8AM advisory, Tropical Storm Gonzalo is located approximately 100 miles east of Trinidad and Tobago. I am continuing to see footage on social media of flooding already taking place in Trinidad. So my folks in Trinidad, I know some of you are on the YouTube channel as well. Please continue to stay safe. At this point, I want to invite our viewers and our listeners to share what is happening in their area this morning. I know overnight, early this morning, there was thunder, lightning, of course, the rains, but from your individual areas, just update us so we can have an idea of what's taking place island-wide. You can share with us, call us on the landline 435-2041. You can also WhatsApp us on 435-2041. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp. Do not send me a picture of your area. Do not send me a YouTube link, voice note. Do not call, voice or video call the WhatsApp. Please, only written messages on the WhatsApp. You can also share with us on the GBN Television Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. Those of you who may have questions, queries, comments, concerns, I repeat, may be able to help you with the information that you are seeking, but primarily we want to hear what is being experienced across the Tri-Island. So please call us and share with us. This morning somebody asked about businesses that are opened, like the Minister of National Disasters, Senator Garwe. As pointed out by Senator Galway yesterday and Mr. McIntyre this morning, today is a business day. However, companies have the right or the privilege, if they would like, to shut their doors for the day because of Tropical Storm Gonzalo, and some businesses have already done so. I've seen notices from places like Foodland that is closed today. P.T. Ann's Hotel is closed today and tomorrow, God willing. I think Body Image Gym is closed today. So in the event that you need, not want, need to head out the door, I suggest you inquire of that place if they are actually opened. Lots of people are taking precautions against Tropical Storm Gonzalo, so please be mindful of that. If you need to head out, just inquire of the business place if they are operating today and what time, to ensure you're not leaving home in this wet weather in vain. So yes, let's get to our viewers and our listeners. Share with us what's taking place in your individual areas. Let's go to our first caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Fairly all right for the time being.
All right, tell us where you're calling from and what you're seeing.
I'm calling from Mount Parnassus, St. George.
Yes, and tell us what you're seeing.
Now, we are having some rain. I cannot tell you it perturbs me because I have seen and I've heard many showers much heavier than this. Also, I have learned in the past, and maybe I have witnessed that too, why this thing don't perturb me much is because, you know, the old people say, I know you are old, but not so old, that as long as you do not see the bacano leaves turn, then you have a lot of hope. You know what they call bacano trees? The leaves would turn when you expect, and bear in mind I'm using the word expect. Now a lot of us are saying that as if we have storm. We expect a storm. We don't have any storm yet we're not certain that the storm would be here. So they said when you expect a storm, you would see the bacano leaves turn, and then you have a right to be concerned. So I don't not too concerned. And if you notice too, the weatherman, they cannot even tell you the exact coast of the thing because the coast is always changing. That's all I have to say. So people, I don't want you to be disturbed so much. Yes, you have a right to be somewhat concerned, but please keep calm. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Just one correction. We are experiencing the storm. The storm is here. The rain that you're seeing is part of the weather system, Tropical Storm Gonzalo. What is not here as yet is the center of the storm, but we are experiencing the storm currently. We are expecting it. We were expecting it, and it is here. Somebody is also noting that the Food Fair supermarket is also closed today. Let's see what else. Who else is on the phones? Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
All right. Where are you calling from, and tell us what you're experiencing?
I'm calling from Vincent St. David. We have a lot of rain and wind.
Okay, you're battened down?
Not really.
And have you had water?
Yes, I have water.
You still have it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just checking. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. I'm asking because NAWASA said in their news release yesterday that depending on the conditions of the system, they may shut off all plans for today. So I was just inquiring. Let me see if there's anybody on the social media with updates. Somebody says it is raining in Montrouge, and there is no rain as yet in Mero. Is Mero? I hope I have it correct. Don't bite off my head, please. Let's see who else is sharing their experience. WhatsApp, I'll be right with you. Let me go back to the phone lines. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Tell us where you're calling from and what you're experiencing so far.
I'm calling from Diamond St. Max.
Uh-huh.
And we are experiencing some wind and some rain. Outside like overcast and kind of dark.
All right. And you have water?
Yeah, for the time being we have some water.
Okay, good. All right. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much, callers. Let's see what's on WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp. Yes, we are still under tropical storm warning, and that would remain until Gonzalo gone about business. Good morning. I am in Bellevue, St. David. Just light rain and a little bit of wind. Somebody's asking for the shelter. Monjaloo is just rain, rain, rain. Where is the shelter in St. George? That's the Montu SDA Church and St. Joseph's Convent, St. George's. They have not been activated as yet. NaDMA will let us know when those the emergency shelters are activated, but just keep in mind where they're located first. Back to the phone lines. Good morning.
Hi, Blossom. Good morning.
Morning. How you do?
I'm pretty fine.
Yes, you sound very fine.
Yeah.
And you're not letting that weather get you down at all.
No, because my weather in paradise, the rain is just taking its time and just fall. Nothing like heavy, you know. Just enough for plants. It's nothing threatening. No wind. Just some light rain and rain fly. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing to worry about so far.
And you have water?
I have water. I have cable, I have internet, I have everything you could think about.
Well, you set up right, man.
Yes, I take breakfast, everything already.
All right, Mama.
So I don't know, watching the weather to see if I could get some corn.
Well,
because when rain falling, corn don't sell.
Right.
So let the people outside, they know corn will be selling still.
Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good
nice day. You
Stay
too.
safe. She's having a time in the weather. Somebody keeps calling the WhatsApp. Please, no calls on the WhatsApp. Only written messages on the WhatsApp, please, I beg of thee. Somebody on WhatsApp says, I am in Mount Carmel. The rain stopped. It's very calm and cloudy. Another WhatsApper says, the Bacano leaves around where I live are turned. I looked at it yesterday. That's in the Belmont area. Belmont in St. George or in St. Patrick. Somebody is also noting that Hubbard's is also closed today as well. Good morning. Morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm cool.
All right, tell me where you're calling from and what you're experiencing so far.
Yeah, because no, after talking about the real problem because some of these know the sea about some of these are just some of the people are happy.
Wait, sorry, could you say that again? Just slow down a little bit. Say it again.
You know, the talking about thing about some of these I look at job out there now, yeah, but set up the blessed day. You just water in the pipe up. You just water in the pipe up to now.
Where are you calling from?
From Lara.
From Lawrence and David?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
You always have problem for water. The sea when you're bad outside, you don't let the go to say let get bucket full. After 3-4 days, we get some water in the pipe in Lara, okay?
Oh, how long, when was the last time you had water?
Well, I think last time I had water about Wednesday.
Wednesday? Okay, yeah. Let's hope for the best because the news release yesterday said that they would open all the plants so people can get water to store up for 3 days. So let's hope that they are able to do that this morning.
You see, you have a problem, and I always call it now, sir. You have a problem in spite of the bad weather, but you always have a problem up for water. Always have a problem for water. From them all weeks, I do get a job out of it.
Hopefully, you know? Gonzalo would bring positives for the residents in Lara. Let's hope for the best.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
With the rains that Gonzalo is expected to bring, hopefully that would bring good news for Nawasa as well. Let me double check the... it's okay. Sorry, Facebook. Miro is in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you see? That's why I know I didn't know the place. Okay, I feel better about myself now. I feel better about myself now. So there's no rain in Miro in SVG as yet. Let me see what else is on the Facebook before I go back to the phone line. Somebody says there's little rain in Lacalome and water gone long. From Victoria, just light drizzling at the moment. Nothing to shout about. Like ordinary, not much wind, but it's cloudy though. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm okay.
All right. Tell me where you're calling from and what you're experiencing so far.
I'm calling from Harveyville in Carriacou.
So tell me how the Sister Isle is this morning.
After 4, the rain starts falling, the wind blowing. And right now we're having a rain. And the wind is like calm in between. Sometimes the rain will stop for a whole hour and then it start coming again. It's very dark. Yeah.
And what about the water? You have water?
Yes, water. The rain is falling. The water. Just empty some barrels and pull up the next one.
What? Life nice for the water in Carriacou.
Yeah, because we put stopping so to get to empty the barrels.
Right.
The tanks are full and everything. So that's good in a sense.
Yeah, I realize. Okay, well, continue to stay safe.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, caller.
Bye.
Thank you, Sister Isles. Continue to stay safe, everybody on the Sister Isles. I like Carriacou PT Martinique, though. Something about it. I don't know. Something about Carriacou PT Martinique brings joy. Thinking about them brings joy. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Let me see. Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says it is raining in Grenville. Somebody else says water gone in Redgate since last night. Mount Rodney, St. Patrick, little rain, but the sea level high. We also have water, lights, and internet. People, please be safe. Oh, sorry. We also have water, light, and internet. People, please be safe. All right. Yes, it's raining in Grenville. Guess that is the situation throughout. Not completely. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sister Blossom, Alexis-Welsh.
How you do, love man?
How are you?
I am good.
I am twice as nice as Heaven's Paradise.
You flute, you go, boy. So tell us how Labaree is this morning.
Labaree is, like I said, Labaree is cool as a rule. What we're experiencing here at the moment is just little sprinkles. A matter of fact, this morning about, let's say about 5:30, the rain was kicking up a little storm inside here with the wind. But at the moment now, it's kind of quiet now at the moment. I don't know what might take place later, but all I know, I just drink a hell of a big cup of cocoa tea and I'm pretty.
Oh gosh, a week. What about the water situation? I know Labaree has been struggling for water even before Gonzalo.
Water, some people who have spoiting will experience some good water from the spoiting. Gutter in a matter of fact, so to speak. In the drums outside.
But it have water in the pipes?
Not at the moment. Water hit the road since yesterday evening.
But you had some yesterday?
Yeah, we get some yesterday.
Oh,
what happened in Labaree, water comes Monday and Friday. That's it twice a week.
Oh.
So if you are lucky, Dobby, you'll be fortunate to experience a good shower when it's sending down this water.
Right. Okay.
Well, Blossom, all the best, sir.
Thank you, love man. Stay safe.
And all my brothers and sisters in GBN, I wish them all the best. But one man I don't hear is Tony Julian. That's my good friend.
Tony, I think Tony there, man. Tony there. He's working from home, but he there.
Oh, okay. He online there.
Well, I'm not sure if he's logged on, but he copacetic. Last I heard.
All right. All the best, sir.
Thank you, love man. Have a good day. Stay safe.
You too.
All right, we are discussing the passing of Tropical Storm Gonzalo, which is currently affecting the Windward Islands and the Southern Caribbean. The 8 a.m. newscast, the 8 a.m. advisory, advised that Gonzalo was located approximately 100 miles east of Trinidad and Tobago, which is just over 100 miles east of Grenada and its dependencies as well. It is considered to still be a small system that is expected to bring heavy rains and heavy winds in part of the island, so please take note of that. Officials have advised that they expect flooding in areas so prone as well as landslides, so those of you who live in those areas, please be careful and cautious. Okay, hearing from our viewers and listeners what they're experiencing in their communities. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning, and how are you doing?
I'm good. How you do?
We are doing so pretty good.
All right. Tell me where you're calling from and what you're experiencing.
I'm calling from Monfan, and we're having little showers. But one thing, I don't hear they say any shelter for Monfan yet.
Remind me, Monfan is in
Monfan is Hope.
In St. Andrews.
Yeah, we don't get nothing about that yet.
So far, only one emergency shelter has been identified for the big parish. That's in Sass.
But we're leaving so far to go quite up in Sass.
Yeah. So far, but according to Mr. McIntyre, if needs be that they need to open more of the shelters, they will so advise.
Yes, well, tell them remember Monfan.
I shall do that.
Okay, have a nice day.
Thanks, you too.
All right.
All right. As said by Mr. McIntyre, considering the current system, If there is a need to highlight the other emergency shelters, they will do so. But what they want to avoid is people going to these shelters before they need to. And they are monitoring the system, and they would have an idea of if and when those shelters need to be opened. And in addition to the 8 that they've identified so far, they also have a list of shelters that they would make available if the need arises. And some of them would be in, what should I say, in more nooks and crannies. There may not be a shelter in each and every community or each and every village, but they may identify a shelter closer to where residents may be in the event that they need to. So far, the shelters, the 8 shelters that have been identified to be activated if the wind speed picks up: Montu SDA Church, St. Joseph's Convent, St. George's, St. Rose Modern Secondary School in St. John, St. Patrick Anglican Primary School in St. Patrick, the St. Andrew Anglican Secondary School in St. Andrew, Wester Hall Secondary in St. David, Leicester Rosary Church and Dover Primary School in Carriacou, and the P.T. Martinique RC Church in P.T. Martinique. Let's go back to the phone lines, and then I'm going to go to some WhatsApp contributions. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Sister Blossom.
Morning. Where are you calling from, and tell me what you're experiencing?
Yeah, I'm calling from Gold Coast.
Then tell us what's happening.
But I can't feel to tell you because I'm visionary impaired.
Say that again?
I say I'm visionary impaired, so I can't tell you what I've seen.
Okay, my apologies.
But I can tell you what I'm hearing.
Yes, please, appreciate that.
The rain is a bit drizzling, you know. It's a little bit calm, the breeze is blowing. You know, but one little problem I have, being visionary impaired, is toilet facility. You know, I have to travel a distance to use toilet if I ever want to use a toilet. You know, that's only my problem.
Do you have running water though?
No, I don't have any running water, but I have a lot of bottles full of the Glenelg water.
Right.
Bottle with the handles, I have about 15 of them full of.
Okay.
The water is good for me, but still, I just want to plead on Grenadians to just lift up some praise for our nation. You know, that will help us too. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you for your participation. Let me see what's on WhatsApp so far. Somebody says in St. Patrick, it is heavy rain. Another WhatsApper, it is raining in the town of St. George. They still have clean water in the taps. It is like 6 in the morning. You mean the atmosphere outside? Good morning. We are getting some rain in Wester Hall. It is off and on. Somebody says, I am from Mount Rush housing scheme, and there's no rain, no wind, nothing but rainfall last night. In the Bocas, they're experiencing light rain, and there's light rain and light wind in Bolio, St. George, and they also have water. I live in Telescope. We are experiencing rain, and they still have water. So I take it that Nawasa is not, as we say in Grenada, they're not taking the water so far. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm all right.
All right. Tell me where you're calling from and what you're experiencing so far.
Well, the rain is sort of, it's hold up a bit. Outside is all right. And so on.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Marianne.
Marianne, okay,
yes,
good.
And I just want, the scripture reading for today is Psalms 121. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh our help. And my help cometh from the Lord which made heaven and earth. And I just like us to remember that God is our helper, and He wants us to look to Him as our source, and He will respond to us. So we're not to get too frantic, but no, we have a great helper that is able to help us, which is the Lord Jesus Christ.
Psalm 121?
Yes, and verse 1 and 2.
All right.
Okay, nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let me see what is on Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, in La Poterie, St. Andrew, we are now having rain and wind. Light drizzle in Hermitage, St. Patrick, no wind. They still have water. There is a lot of rain in Fontenoy. Also the wind, it's dark too. We have water. By the way, what the sleep of the store? All right, I am not understanding that part. Let me see. Heavy rain and wind in Tivoli, St. Andrew. From P.T. Martinique, we are having lots of rain and wind. We were having lots of rain and wind this morning. For now, it's just light. God bless us all and stay safe. Let me see who else is on WhatsApp before I return again. Somebody else is calling. Please, no calls on the WhatsApp. Only written messages on the WhatsApp. Please, person on the WhatsApp. Somebody else on WhatsApp. Let me go back by the phone lines. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Where are you calling from and what are you experiencing so far?
Calling from Telescope.
Tell us what's happening in Telescope.
We experience heavy wind and rain right now.
And you still have water?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I haven't heard about lightning and thunder. This morning as I was getting up at 4 o'clock, there was lightning and thunder. Anybody have lightning and thunder? No? What really going on with Gonzalo? What's going on with Gonzalo? Where's the lightning and thunder? Good morning.
Blossom.
Hi.
The wind and the rain start in paradise now.
It heavy?
He's shaking me tree and them, man, and me damsel falling.
Bonje, that juice, no?
Yeah, he's shaking down the place, man. So
stay safe.
Yeah, God is good, man.
Amen.
We are accustomed with that.
Okay, all right. Lost, stay safe, Gonzalo. Say, hey? Blossom just asked what do me? Let me show her what happening. Okay, Gonzalo, I apologize. Somebody says in Munich the rain is falling, but it's light. I am in Montu. We are having light rain. I have water now. It came last night. It's coming a bit slow now. I'm experiencing a lonely bed. Well, stay there. Stay safe and stay dry. You alone. Somebody else on WhatsApp says, the Bocas, slight drizzle, no water since yesterday. Plenty rain fly. That's one of the things I hate about rain. Good morning, caller.
Yes, plenty rain and wind in Simon here.
Plenty rain and wind?
And wind, yes.
Okay. And you have water?
Water to give away.
Okay, thank you.
Right. And I need a tarpaulin.
A tarpaulin to cover where?
The veranda because all the rain.
Rain pitching in?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes, tell Matt not to... Matt, I have to send one, bring one for me.
Okay.
In Simon.
All right.
Yes, you have a blessed day.
Thanks, you too.
You know who calling Nenny, you know?
Yes, I realize Nenny.
Yes.
Okay.
Have a blessed day.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Nenny says she has water to give away. So anybody who knows Nenny, check Nenny for water. Nenny have water to give away. Let's see, it is 4 minutes on to 9 o'clock. Somebody says, I'm writing from Lacalome and the water was withdrawn from last night. I like withdrawn. Crowshoe is a bit overcast with light rain, absolutely no wind. Somebody says, I'm in Mount Rush. It's just nice outside, but there is no water. And somebody else on WhatsApp says, River Sally in St. Patrick, it's just rain, not that heavy. The wind's starting to blow now. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning.
How are you? All right, where are you calling from?
From Mount Tranquil.
Okay, and tell us what's happening in Mount Tranquil.
We're getting some rain and wind, but I'm so frightened because the house looks so good.
Loss, is it shaking? Is the wind heavy enough to shake the house?
I feel so.
But it's not shaking now?
No, but I trust God that everything will be all right with me because me alone not inside here.
No, stay safe. You have neighbors close by just in case?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mount Tranquil is in which parish again?
St. David.
St. David. So how far are you from Westerhall Secondary? I'm trying to picture it.
Very far. But I have a niece. If anything, I'll just run up by her.
Okay, all right. Well, at least you have a backup plan.
Yes.
Okay, so stay safe.
Yes, all right.
And you have water?
Yes, I have water.
Okay.
Water in the pipe.
All right. Stay safe.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You see? Backup plan. I am not depending on anything else. I have a backup plan just in case. Let's see how we can wind down this update. Somebody says from Carriacou, the police has just advised that the road known as 16 Corners leading to Mount Royal and Mount Pleasant is closed to vehicular traffic due to the strong possibility of slides. Currently, it is raining on the island. So for the folks on the Sister Isle, let me repeat, the police has advised that the road known as 16 Corners leading to Mount Royal and Mount Pleasant is closed to vehicular traffic due to the strong possibility of slides. Please, everybody, continue to stay safe. Those of you who live in flood-prone and landslide prone areas. Please keep that in mind. We are going to leave it here for now. Let me just refresh the Hurricane Center website, see if there are any additional updates on Gonzalo. So far, there are no updates since the 8 a.m. advisory in relation to Tropical Storm Gonzalo. It is still heading west or heading in our direction. It is forecast to bring continued weather conditions to the Windward Islands this afternoon and tonight. Tropical storm warnings are in effect for various islands, including Grenada and St. Vincent and Tobago. So those of you in those islands, please take note, take heed, be cautious. We are...
No worry, I will protect...
Here, sorry, Timmy, I saw it late. We're going to end the broadcast here, but of course we're going to keep you updated as it relates to Tropical Storm Gonzalo and any major changes that are taking place with the weather system as it passes over the Windward Islands and the Southern Caribbean. Continue to stay safe, everybody. Somebody just... Hold on, wait. I just saw a note about a tree falling. Ooh, hold on. Wait, Holly, hold on. Let's put the end on pause. Let's put the end on pause. In Hillsborough, Carriacou, the rain is heavy on and off, lightning and thunderstorms. What happened to the shelters in Hillsborough? It is very windy in Carriacou as well. They're going to wait for the wind speed when it is dangerous for everyone to make their way to the shelters. They won't wait until wind speed is here. They have an idea of what is to come, which is what Mr. McIntyre said this morning. They have an idea of what is to come, so then they'll know if and when to send out the advisory. And that same person from Hillsborough said there's a tall flower tree and it just fell over. And I saw another one talking about trees falling in Byland, St. Andrew. Trees starting falling with heavy rain and very hard wind. So I guess the system is picking up as expected. Continue to stay safe. I'm just browsing through with my eyes to see if I have any further notices of blocked roads and so on and so forth. Light rain in Mongay. Montu Grandance is very wet. Had thunder and lightning around 4 a.m. in Tempe. No water since yesterday. All right, I think that is all the advisories that I have. Thank you guys once again. Continue to stay safe and pay attention to your surroundings. Those of you who can reach out a hand to your neighbors who may be seeking refuge or assistance, please help as much as you can while also staying safe yourself. Have yourselves a safe morning. I'll still be here for a little while just in case there are further updates to be shared, but we're going to end the visual broadcast on our Facebook page, YouTube channel, and GBN TV channel 7, 11, and 20. I'll still be on Classic and Hot 98, so if you want to tune into the frequencies to ensure that you're not left in the dark, feel free to do so. Bye to the folks on our visual platforms. Continue to stay safe and dry. Bye-bye.
A hurricane, and the point at which it begins lies deep in Africa. Here, the highlands of Ethiopia. It all starts off with a seed, a ripple high in the atmosphere called an easterly wave. Now, every hurricane season, many of these ripples travel thousands